and you're all here sitting here enjoying this Counter-Strike, witnessing a crazy moment in history here for the game. It's obviously packed out arenas, absolutely amazing. The fans are amazing, but the storylines too, and we've got one hell of a storyline here. Gambit, as James mentioned to me earlier, criminally underrated. They've come this far, and now they threaten the title holders. They threaten to steal away their trophy and their place in the finals, James.
Pistol time, Astralis starting on the T side. Gambit, it's their turn to defend. Not just defend this pistol, not just defend this half, but defend the 1-0 lead that they have at the moment. Device and Kiabi with the bomb in banana at the moment. And even though it's a pistol, Hobbit will still be left on his own. So I hope for Gambit's sake they've got a retake strategy in mind. They've all got Kevlar, no retake grenades whatsoever, but they put 4 towards A on this pistol. Let's see what the read is of Astralis. Yes, they are showing presence towards banana for the time being. But Dupree and Zipex are in apartments. So they're not giving anything away just yet, Astralis. And now Dren has made his way back.
Calm before the storm. Astralis wait to see if there's to be a poke from Gambit, but they're not feeling all that pokey right now, just holding their positions. No prodding at all, but it's going to be required of Astralis soon. They need to get that bomb planted. We've got 50 seconds to go now, and they've decided, after assessing the situation in a considered fashion, that A will be the bomb site of choice. And that's a good choice too. There's only 2 members here for Gambit. They are aiming to play retakes, but we'll see how well Mo is playing here on map 2, as he will be perhaps the first to see action for Gambit.
Mo spotting one player, but not spotting the bomb. They barrel out of the balcony position, and Glaive gets himself the first kill. A much needed kill for Astralis, but they need the round as well. It continues to go the way of Astralis. The short plant, the plant from Infernos of old is here. It's the use of a cheeky frag through the smoke. I think he was blocked by a grenade there. Either way, he gets a kill. The bomb has been planted. Time is of the essence now for Gambit. They're all here on the site, and that's another smoke kill for Zeus.
Yeah, pretty insane stuff there from him, and he's really carved an opening here for the remainder of Gambit to try to get this defuse coming, but the bomb is ticking really quickly at this point. The Dren going in really close on the site, can't win the engagement. It's going to be Hobbit left now against 3. That's a nice headshot, but can he get the rest? Will he have time? So many questions here for him to answer. So much pressure, and it's going to be Dupree to shut it all down, and Astralis win the first pistol here on Inferno.
Force buy from Gambit. Zeus with the scout. Again, when it comes to scouts, you really need a kill in the pistol round to be able to afford one. So Zeus will be a scout, no armor. And the no armor would be why he is sniping instead of Mo, who has his armor and a CZ.
Like this here from Astralis, really simple, really quick split into the A site. However, we've got a couple kills coming in from Mo. No scout required there. And now it's going to be really awkward here for Astralis, because not only are they down 2 players, Glaive and Device are critically weak. They're trying to hold position here with Dupree, trying to get an additional frag, but again, they have to go to the site. They've got to plant the bomb, and that's why Gambit are holding positions. They know that it's Astralis that have to do what is essentially a death run onto that bomb site. Device playing patiently. Mo with another kill. Are you serious? 3 kills on that CZ of his.
Zeus, Device, he's down to 3 HP. I think Zeus might have tagged him with the scout. There's no solution to this situation for Astralis. It's a 2 versus 4, and they've got almost nothing to fight with. Device, 40 seconds. Hobbit will finish him off. Mo starting as he means to go on. 3 kills in that round with that CZ. They will collect the bounty. That is a rocky start for Astralis, to say the least.
Yeah, and of course they're going to collect all those weapons and so on. Just the sheer swing in value from winning a round like that is absolutely unreal. Astralis in dangerous territory, but they do have a Deagle on Dupree, some Tech 9s here, 3 smokes, and Kevlars and helmets. Perhaps this explosive play, this explosive round could shake Gambit enough to give Astralis the rounds here and again steal away all the guns that were just, well, that belonged to them.
Gambit looking very menacing in this semi-final. Again, this is for a place in the grand finals. We'll find out the opponent later on, but for now, it is Gambit 1-0 up versus Astralis. Winning a force buy immediately, that's got to dent your confidence. The Dren and Hobbit with aggressive positions in Banana. Not the first time we've seen this. We'll talk about that more when the buy rounds come in, but for now it's the fourth buy round. Dupree with a nice eagle kill towards long, but the gun will rescued by Zeus.
A good presence here actually for Astralis now. They've got a lot of position. The problem is the health is running low on these players, and they'll start to make the committed play onto the side for that bomb plant. Looks like Dozier has something to say about it, but a great response there from the Danish side. Just a Dren and Hobbits remain. A Dren caught in the back there, taking critical damage, and that's it for him. It's just Hobbit left here. Everybody's tagged, so desperately tagged here, but Astralis can hold awesome positions here, and it's hard for Hobbit to know the situation he's in. He does get the kill onto Dupree, but now he's considering that situation. Okay, do I just go for the save? Do I just keep this M4 and CZ into the next round? Looks like that's going to be the call. And Astralis, they've done it, and it wasn't an explosive round, James. They sort of just crept into positions, and just used the team play there. Really awesome round from them.
I'm sure I saw a player walking through the smoke on Zeus' screen and back in. I'm not sure if he's 4x3 or if he simply didn't spot it, maybe looking at the radar or something. But I think that was an opportunity that came and went. So will we continue in fourth buy town? Gambit saving 1 M4. Will they buy around it? Could see a Mag 7 towards the B bomb site, for example. UMP onto Zeus, UMP onto a Dren. Mo will continue with the CZ. Dozier will be thrown the M4. Hobbit has enough for one of his own. This is quite a good buy from Gambit, all things considered. And you might argue that, utility aside, they're almost evenly matched. The Mac 10 on Dupree, but they've all got helmets on Gambit, and that Mac 10 is going to be significantly weakened by that fact.
Device wants to get up to Banana, but a lot of grenades there does make things a little bit annoying. Slow down their approach slightly, but Device will be able to claim control of Banana here as Gambit do give it up in the end. And Gambit only have 2 grenades left now. 1:25 on the clock. A flashbang and an incendiary. It's not a very good situation if you're on a CT side of Inferno to look at such a low utility count. They at least have a kit though on Dozier, so there is that for them. But Astralis still do need to work their way into a site, and Gambit are just relying on just having really good setups here on the bomb sites, getting those crossfires in, allowing that to get them the frags that they need to hold a push.
They should have heard that drop in Banana. And a Dren, he's getting cheeky again. He likes to make plays off of sound cues, showing some presence towards Banana, but Kiabi not quite going to hit the mark. But look at that, perfect timing from Mo. And there are 4 men on the A site. Astralis needs to move quickly towards 4 men towards the B site, but the rotation's coming in. So he's trying to make his way onto the site. He'll be able to do that, but there's not enough time for Mo and Dozier to come in from the library. He's doing the best he can, doing even better with 1 kill.
And Mo's still alive, but not for too long with that CZ finally. Then his CZ is out of the picture. Dozier comes into the fray though, and he's got an M4. He means business now as Zipex able to pick up an AK-47 and the bomb, and you'll get that plant coming in. And they joke that he wins these all the time. Let's see if this will be another time if it's Zipex. He can't do it. The trade is there from a Dren.
Coming through the apartments was a Dren. Had the angle from the balcony. The 4 spies continue. Nobody can string rounds together just yet. The Dren with an AK on the CT side. That shadow will loom large over the heads of Astralis. Or will it? Surely they go in. Wow, that's a big buy. Device has enough for an AWP. AWP, T side of Inferno. Very curious to see what he can get done, and that's another point. We haven't even chosen GoTV picks, so maybe we will wait for an eco round. This definitely isn't one. This is a good buy from Astralis. They've got the power on their team to win these duels. 3 AKs, the AWP, Zipex with the hand cannon, and he is as naked as Dozier's fans. No Kevlar for him. Gambit though, with full utility, means they should have a strong take of Banana at the start of the round.
Yeah, dupreeh looking for an entry there, and that very forward position from Hobbit is quite scary. You'll have to feel that one out quite well, and we'll see the rest of Astralis moving up top mid. Mo defending though so far, able to get out of harm's way, but for how long here? We get a pursuit from Astralis, but actually Gambit do manage to escape. They've got very few grenades left here because of all this pressure from the Astralis side. Neither team able to get any security, any stability on that economy. And still, very few frags here, but Glaive will change that one. Entry comes in, but the trade's there as well. Astralis now make the call to go B.
We've seen no smokes from Hobbit before, and again, it doesn't work out one way or another. Those smokes are causing Gambit problems on the B bomb site. Wow, there we go. Device saving his teammates' embarrassment, and there goes Dozier as well, falling apart. The late rounds where Hobbit's jumping around with the smoke grenades, the smoke is essentially thrown at random, and it's been a problem. We've seen it in different matches, and it continues to be an issue. Gambit, maybe they don't think the late smoke bottom Banana will be respected enough by the T's, but what they're doing with them top Banana is causing them problems. Astralis win round number 5. We look to the force buy from the CTs in round number 6.
Pretty insane so far, neither team able to really find a way to stabilize themselves with any of these one rounds. So we'll see whether Astralis can be the first to do so indeed. Looking pretty good for them at this point. Gambit did steal away that AK though on Zeus. So Zeus will be looking to get some cheeky plays in, I'm sure, in this round for the Gambit side. Just keep that pressure up onto the Astralis economy, because again, at this point, this is really their best opportunity to make a lot of money. And we do get a tactical timeout indeed from Gambit as they perhaps discuss how to use the AK and also just generally how to approach this offense that Astralis are bringing to bear.
Famas out for Mo. We will keep an eye on the rest of the buy. No Max 7s just yet for the CTs. Maybe Astralis are just too good for that kind of play. Adren with the CZ. And Mo, there's a Famas on the floor for him. Gambit are good to go. Who is going to win the first consecutive round on Inferno? You can hear the cheers for Gambit. 3 players short for the CTs. Dozier moving into apartments, and there's a boost as well from the CTs. We'll see how Astralis find this information out.
And that position on the court is very wall bangable. You can, a lot of teams do check for that sometimes, but it is a position you might see maybe once or twice in a half of a team. It does worry me that Gambit they don't have. A lot of these rounds, it's been very difficult for them from a utility perspective. This is another one of those rounds. So really banking on just connecting those shots and trying to have good setups, read Astralis' movement, get good rotations in to get into position in time. Whilst dupreeh looks for an entry there towards the boiler position. Might meet Mo, and he's only got a Famas here. It's very difficult to win that duel. Famas against AK. dupreeh lining up the smoke though, and Astralis looking to go in towards A.
Adren making his way towards long, but he seems to have a read. He's running back towards B immediately. I don't know if Hobbit thought he heard something, but there's nobody there. There is no one there. Look how tight this is. We're going to see a lot of frags in a short few seconds. Mo completely blind, going for the full spray. One man down both sides. The bomb falls at the feet of the CTs, but the round may not do the same. Dozier stuck in apartments now. Smokes on both sides of the site will limit what Gambit can do. They're going to have to play post-plant. Adren now towards long. Hobbit coming up in the middle area. 2 plays in the pit for the T's, and they're ready for Dozier, ready for Adren. The round has been taken away from Gambit. Astralis look to get their consecutive rounds. Hobbit with a kit, but he'd be mad to go for it at this point with a UMP.
I can definitely do some damage here in the apartment, so that's for sure, with this UMP of his. And he actually is, maybe he is mad, James. He is looking to go for it here. Catch Kirby there. Thinks that perhaps everyone else has rotated, going for the win, going for the W there, the ninja defuse. It's not going to happen though. And Astralis looks like they're going to stabilize somewhat here, James. It's finally a situation where Gambit are forced to save. They have to save. And that will allow Astralis to have a comfortable round and start to generate money and a decent lead here against the Gambit side that looks so scary on map 1.
So, for the ones on GoTV, Dan, what would your picks be for this match?
It's always tough, but what about Device then? Device and the Dren, I would say, would be mine. I think it's hard to overlook Mo as well at this point. Looking forward to seeing when he gets an AWP in his hands, but Dupree's having a lot of fun right now, just running and gunning with that Mag 10.
We'll eventually swap these players up. Death by paper cuts for Gambit in this round. The Dren with the Deagle. Hello, it's a good start. He'll try to keep himself with the 1 versus 1. Checking the high ground, but Dupree's on the low, and the aim punch will stop a Dren from bringing his crosshair back down for another kill. 2-5. Astralis starting to pull away in the early rounds of the first half. I think it's going to be more difficult for Mo to be effective on Inferno. Definitely not as effective as he was on Overpass, which you could say was an overperformance, all things considered.
Yeah, and also, I mean, it's difficult to have the money to have an AWP as well at this point for Gambit. Their money's been really bad all the time. And even in this round, you know, they don't, again, it's a round where they don't have all the utility, they don't have the kicks here. We've got a push, a very fast push here from Astralis. Defended though, defended well in fact from Gambit, not losing a single player, although, oh, it's 3 HP, one more tick of Molotov damage there, and he would be a dead man, burnt to a crisp. And now Astralis are looking to get themselves onto a crisp push into the A sites. Nice entry from Dupree, good flick, but there's still danger lurking around the corner. Dozier by position, but apparently not. Zipex swoops in.
Astralis expecting an over-rotation from the CTs towards B. Make plays towards the A site, but a Dren, he's still alive for now. Barely, and Hobbit even less so. Looking around the smoke, but Glaive will spot him first, and that should be the round. Nothing Hobbit can do except try to get out of this position, which is not ideal. And part of the confidence in that round for Astralis making plays towards A could have been from 2 CTs rotating from B to A, who flashed the arch area, and that can tell Astralis that the CTs are not in ideal situations there, and maybe they can take the extra step forward to pick off the players in the pit position. 6-2 for Astralis. Too early to say if we're going to 3 maps or not, but doesn't look bad for them at the moment, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's perfect, isn't it? I mean, on the map 1 we saw that Gambit had this really great start. Everything went well for them. It's good to see that Astralis get the same opportunity to have a start like that. And it's not all just struggles, because it was definitely quite difficult for them to get things going, and everything seemed to be against them. But here they're really making their T-side work. And it's great to see such a level of team play and coordination out of the likes of Astralis. There's perhaps almost no teams that can do a better job in that sense. So it's almost art when you watch teams of this caliber. We'll see now whether or not Gambit can have a better situation. Again, on a lot of these buy rounds we've seen from them, I don't know if we've seen one optimal buy round yet. You know, in all these rounds that we've had. And of course, you know, we had some force buys traded backwards and forwards early on. And again, that really serves to destabilize the CT economy massively. And it put you in a position where perhaps you can have a cycle of bad buys. But Gambit need to make sure they can have some better ones in the future here, where they actually have utility, get the AWP onto Mo. Then you can take Banana, you can use that utility, because there's so much you can do then.
That will be the case in the next round as they head towards maximum loss bonus, and this is an eco. Can't buy AKs on the CT side, which is what Hobbit is carrying from the previous rounds. Astralis with a slow approach. There is time on the clock. You can try to minimize errors as they always do. The Dren with the Deagle, only person defending B at present. Do wonder what the ultimate decision of Astralis will be. They've taken banana, and it seems now they'll go to show some presence towards A.
And Zipex searching for an angle here, an entry frag, and we'll get that coordinated push beginning to be attempted, but you can see that the smokes, the counter grenades have been set upon Astralis, which will stop the effort, but that is part of the point here for Astralis. They need to create pressure to force out all those grenades that the Gambit did have, and they basically have nothing left at this point, so it's going to be a great position for Astralis to kind of just walk into a site, trade their way to success. No trades even required, of course. Adren will get picked off, in fact, the only man on B. Gambit perhaps more convinced that it would have been A, and behind the cover of smoke, everything will be dandy for Astralis.
4 players alive for Gambit. They've got Deagles, so they might as well go for it, see if they can get anything out of this, but for now, they'll have to try to carefully channel their bullets through smoke switcher down. That's going to waste some time, especially when they don't have any kits. Only Hobbit's really got something to lose here. The rest can try to damage the Astralis economy as they look towards the rest of this half. But it's usually picked off. Hobbit will be saving his AK on the A site. Mo and Dozier will be the early warning system, and perhaps they'll get a gun out of it as well. Device hunting them. He could end up giving away an AK. So pay close attention to that. Nope, some bonus money for him. So Hobbit saves the AK, and the team will be on the full buy for this one.
All right, so the question now is, does Mo try to make a play? You know, do they try to make it safe somehow? Does he have a spawn to play off of? There's suddenly a wealth of options for Gambit to essentially just make Astralis' life very difficult, maybe make them use grenades that they don't want to use early on into the rounds, get maybe force a trading situation on banana. That could be one way that Gambit could get a man advantage. There's all these situations I'll be looking out for here, but they could just play it passively too and try to conserve their utility late until the rounds. Limited pressure from Astralis on banana, taking it slow as well, so...
There's a gap. There is a gap in that smoke. And that's an inviting gap, inviting Device to look for a pick. He's going to be flashed by a teammate, almost getting a kill, but he'll manage to escape as well. Only Astralis taking some damage, and there's some more damage for you, Device. Get out of my banana, say Gambits. But there's a minute 15 on the clock. And no smokes remain for the CT side. Dupree again, looking for picks on short B on overpass. Now looking for picks on shorts for Inferno. Not sure if a flash was there. I heard a flash from Mo, but they definitely weren't blind. So now the site can be pinched by Astralis.
Yeah, Astralis side watching here. It's been very overwhelming. Dozier gets himself through though, and it could be more. Indeed it will. A third headshot found as Hobbit now swoops in to save the day as well. It's down to Kirby for the clutch here. 1 versus 2, and that bomb is not down. He doesn't have a huge amount of time, but he's got enough to work off of here. 35 seconds, and he has no idea where these two players are. Does he guess correctly? Oh, it's going to be a trend coming in with a perfect timing and angle to finish off Kirby and dash his chances in that clutch. A much needed round for Gambit on the board.
That spray transfer from Dozier was outstanding, and with the final bullets manages to eke out the 3rd kill as well. A humongous 3K from him, much needed. Desperate situation for the side. He knows Zipex is creeping up there, but he's got to take down Glaive, then straight back to Zipex. Very patient burst with what remains in his bullets, and he will burst for the final kill. Loving life is Dozier. 3K for him, and that's 3 rounds for Gambit. Still a delicate situation for them. Aggression from Astralis. They've made it past the initial grenades, but the CTs might have a read on it. We've got some big high explosives flying down banana. The Dren's got to be careful. Doesn't want to stand in a pre-fire spot. Dupree again looking for entries, and he's going to get himself really deep into enemy territory. But Hobbit's making a play with his knife out. Free kill for Dupree. Yeah,
with Zipex taking that kill at balcony. Right now it's really difficult here for the Gambit side, but there's still 3 left alive, and another kill here will assist them. Adren in position now. They still have the bomb sites to Gambit, so not all is lost just yet in this round, but there's so much freedom here for Astralis to pick one of these bomb sites. And it should be next to impossible for Gambit if they if Astralis attack a bomb site where they've only got one player there defending, and right now they are essentially playing that sort of a setup. One on B, one on A. They've got a player in rotation, which is Zeus on the M4. There's a spot from Adren, and that's going to key in the rotation there a little bit from Zeus, still floating backwards and forwards, but still a big question mark. Wherever Astralis is going to go, Gambit just don't know right now.
Dozier and Zeus in a less than ideal situation. They can't really support themselves, well, each other rather, in their current positions, but Zeus will move into a spot where he can help his teammates. Zipex looking the wrong way, and there's the first kill. Now Zeus can run his back, but the flank is there from Glaive. Glaive with the 180, taking a Dren down, and there's Dozier again. It falls out to him. He's crouching, almost taking down the Vice, but not quite. The reset is there from Astralis, just a one round, and it starts to look like a dominant half for the Denmark guys.
And you can see why Astralis are giving Gambit Gaming so much respect, because in that round, again, Astralis are perhaps the best team in the world at closing down the advantage on the T side. When you have that, when you get that hard-earned advantage, playing the trades, playing it smart with trying to abuse that the CT rotation, trick them into thinking you're going somewhere where you're not. And even still, with that advantage, Astralis had a very hard time closing that round. It could have been won by Gambit. So Gambit, once again, on the pistols. Astralis doing an amazing job in this match so far, 8-3. It's a great scoreline for them to work off of, and it should go 9-3 here with just this safe situation for Gambit to play against. And Zipex will kick things off pretty well with the AK there, and as the Dren does peer over, looking for Deagle frags, but he won't find anything.
Gambit's aggression being neutered in this round so far. Goes your top mid with a USP. Only so much we can ask for him in this situation. And Dren over towards A as well, but Astralis still being very, very careful. They will give nothing to their opponent if they don't need to. Maybe a Dren can steal a weapon away from this round, but nothing else looks likely. Zipex keeping eyes on top mid. Dren may spot him as he heads to balcony, but Zipex is prepared for it with the angle he's holding. As you can see there, the odd shoulder peek in case somebody makes their way out of CT apps. We look forward to the coming rounds. The loss bonus is minimal for Gambit. Their money absolutely sucks. 9-3, and the UMPs will become a common story for Gambit in this half.
Yeah, they've been having so many problems with their money. It's actually crazy, and it really feels like it's very hard to play that CT side in Inferno when you're in that situation. And again, it's by the nature of the fact that Astralis are just playing really amazingly well right now. Just some great solid counter-strike from them, and looking to increase their scoreline dramatically here as they are up against indeed these UMPs that are coming out. As mentioned, Gambit not going really aggressive here, playing a passive default sort of setup on the CT side as Astralis are allowed to work the apartments, and we've seen great takes up top mid from Astralis round after round, pushing Gambit back, then taking Banana as well, making things always difficult. Oh, that angle there from Dupree. I'm going to find anything, but almost an opportunity here. Gambit pushed all the way back onto the sides.
Now Device has taken up the mantle, and Dupree will just cover him from Arch, waiting for the re-peeker's Device, and he's surely going to get one, but no. His teammate harassing, forcing the CTs off the balcony in the meantime. Everybody here for Astralis with a minute on the clock. Glaive will have a look towards Banana, see what's going on. Not carrying the bomb, which is important, which we have seen from Gambit when they do the same on the T side. Always have to pay attention to that. Can win you and lose you round, but so got a great timing peek from Adren. Two-man spray down to him, but still no bomb spotted.
Yeah, the bomb will now make its way up towards B. That's the Hail Mary in this round for Astralis. A three-man situation, not amazing. Hobbit's going to make it worse, now down to 2 as Astralis trying to take this site. And Gambit know exactly what's going on. A crossfire is being set up. And so to get onto that bomb part, it seems impossible here for Kirby. He's going to have to dart back now. And this could work out because there is time to get that rotation if he runs all the way. But we've got Zeus looking to cut him off. Surely it won't be possible to ferry the bomb across, and it won't. Zipex now, without time to win this round. Gambit with a fantastic defense.
Zipex has 6,600 in the bank, so he can... I don't know why the CTs are facing there, because they can't afford to lose those guns, but Astralis can. They can afford to lose those weapons, so there's more impact to be had by Zipex getting kills in that situation. Timeouts from Gambit Gaming. They've used a few in this half so far, and there's one remaining. 2 rounds remaining. Finally, they're on the scoreboard once again, but Astralis will have a far superior buy. Gambit just can't get away from these UMPs.
I suppose we'll probably see more of the same here from Astralis. Again, they've been working apartments really well, and it is, you know, a feature of the new Inferno that is hard to challenge it as the CTs. Again, though, with all the UMPs that we have been seeing, I'm surprised we didn't see, you know, a few more plays into the apps trying to have some aggression and stop the likes of dupreeh from getting these fast positions towards Boiler, which he has so commonly done for the team, setting up his smokes, looking for those entries, just pushing Gambit back systematically. Will we see anything different here from Gambit? Or even Astralis, perhaps? They could try to anticipate some of these moves from Gambit and play a counter strategy. We'll see. Nice pressure there from Gambit onto the banana area. And indeed, we've got Dozier making some presence in the apps. It's a hard thing to do on this new Inferno, but Dozier's the man to do it.
So much investment into Banana to kick off the rounds, and it just slows Astralis down for a time. But now look at them, they've got 3 players in the Banana area, slowly clearing it out. Hobbit left alone. Hobbit with a very tough job on Inferno on the CT side. Gambit won't shy away from 4 towards A, and Mo is very close to the top of middle. Kiabi harassing Banana, and the smoke has just disappeared from top Banana, so Adren might end up rotating. But for now, they'll hold on to this area. He won't spot the other 2 players to his right-hand side. They won't know just how many players are there. Mo getting out of there. Zeus might be trapped behind this pillar now.
Yeah, that was a money flashbang, though, for the information play. Unlucky for Gambit not to get a kill there, but could be Zeus finding the timing here. Oh, he's going to see some backs. You always like to see that when you're on the CT side in this position, and that's going to be a top mid retaken by the CTs, and they understand that Astralis are making the move here towards B. The rotation starts to come in, but will they even get the bomb site? Hobbit able to stop them, though, with the help of that UMP, and a flashbang, and Dren going massive with the AK. Finds great timing there through the smoke. Now it's down to Blaze. Can he find a way out? He can't. Five rounds now for Gambit, and that's going to give them a real fighting chance as they get closer and closer into moving into this second half against Astralis, who have a very comfortable situation with that 9 rounds scoreline.
Astralis 65% on the pick'em predictions, looking to tie up the score. Gambit finally a round where they don't have UMPs or only pistols. Last round of the first half, 6 rounds possible for Gambit. 5 AKs for Astralis. No venturing into Banana just yet, and that smoke in apartments will slow down what might be inevitable, and that is the taking of map control. Hobbit and Adren harassing the Banana position. You can see Device is bottom mid. He's carrying the bomb, so he needs to be careful once the smoke disappears, but he will not expect Gambit to overextend in this situation. There we go again, dupreeh towards shot, forced forward now by the Molotov.
Flames everywhere, a real true Inferno indeed there for Astralis over at the quad side of the map here, but they are going to really just go straight away to the one side here. Hobbit's not going to like what he sees here. Many players had no idea there would be so many rushing in right now. dupreeh covering the back there, just catching rotations, lurking towards A, making life really difficult. That will actually slow Dozier's rotation down. He's going to try to get over there, but he's not going to make it out there in time. It's going to be down to Mo and Adren to work some ground here. Very close indeed, but Adren has to be the man now to make the entries. Goes in with the AK, can't do it in the face of Kirby. And now Mo, well and truly locked out of construction.
The kills though, the kills are coming in, but there's the flank from dupreeh, and this might just kill everything. Nobody on the side for the T. Zipex is in Banana, he's just hiding with the off angle. Throws Dozier a fake. And there's a 10th round for Astralis, 10-5, a very strong half for the defending champions. 5 rounds for Gambit, is it enough? They have not had the perfect pistol rounds as they have in previous matches. If they are to win another pistol, now is the time if they want this to be competitive. Otherwise, we may see a dominant score from Astralis on Inferno.
Well, I mean, you can have confidence, I think, in Gambit with those pistols, that's for sure. So, I'm curious what round they will select. Whether it will be all that complicated or just relatively simple. Astralis, they must be feeling really good. Finally getting a situation where everything's working out for them. It's definitely going to add some additional confidence to their performance.
All right, lads, I want some refreshments. Cheers, mate. London t-shirt, of course. Accent is accurate. Waiting for the teams to buy and waiting for the unpause to come in. The latter has happened. 4 players on Gambit. Kevlar in this pistol round. Dozier hasn't bought just yet. If he goes Kevlar as well, then surely they're just going to look to bum rush somewhere. Zipex smoke and diffuse kits. Rest of his team will be carrying protection. Here we go. Pistol round in the second half. Do Astralis have it in them to bring this to a third game? 4 players top mid for the CT side. They're not waiting around. They're creeping straight down mid.
Yeah, you absolutely love to see this. Just take the fight straight to the tees. They won't expect this one, but you need to get those fast kills. They spot the bomb as well, and that's a nice headshot from Kirby. Dupree's position actually insane there. Savage stuff on the first kill, but it will be traded back here. Gambit still with 3 players left, and they've got the bomb back. Astralis have to fall all the way back into the A bomb site here.
Minute 15, starting to move towards Archer Gambit, and there's no one around to hear these sound cues. Device rotating to join Zipex, and maybe Device will hear something, but Gambit, they're not committing, not just yet. Maybe looking for an entry, maybe trying to suggest a wrap towards the B bomb site, but that's not going to work out for them. 2 players in pit, that's a lovely one-tap by Kiabi. How long can he survive? How long can he go undetected? There he is, and then he will hunt him down, but Kiabi gets 2 kills out of it, leaving Hobbit alone in a 1 versus 2. Device in the red, 1 coming from CT, 1 coming from Banana.
What can Hobbit do in this situation? At least he's got that bomb down. What is the play? Oh, just able to get himself into Boiler in time here. Will Zipex check for this? So many angles, and there it is. Hobbit able to catch Zipex perfectly. Now, where does Device read the play from Hobbit? He is desperately weak, in need of medical attention, and he's not going to find any medics here in this situation. Only Hobbit, who is looking to make matters much worse for Device here, spots him, just creates a horrible distraction here as that bomb now cannot be defused for Device, and it's all about just getting some extra money in the bag. Hobbit's going to be the one to do so with the frag, and that's the pistol for Gambit.
There it is, the window of opportunity is open, and Gambit sent the smallest person to climb through it. Hobbit winning the round for his team, 6-10. Rifles out immediately for Gambit, but they've got some balance with the UMPs as well, and the grenades. We've seen many a force by one already in this tournament. Let's have a look at the Astralis investment. It's a half buy from them. Perhaps they have confidence in what they can do in a full buy. So some pistols here and there, some smokes and some flashes. Maybe a question of damage for Astralis, or maybe they think that this is simply enough to get the job done.
I really like this approach from Astralis. I think more teams should do it like this, just because we saw exactly the typical approach is what Gambit did on their first half. And I mean, we remember how tough it was for Gambit to really ever have good buys, ever have the utility they wanted, or the AWPs. So really like that from Astralis. As you say, a lot of confidence that this can do the job, just as well as having those extra Kevlars, having the confidence that their buy rounds will be sufficient. And speaking of sufficient rounds, Gambit with a nice anti-force buy, marching straight in with grenades. That's what you want to see here. Lovely execution from the Gambit side, and they will get the bomb planted, and they've got no losses, which is picture perfect for them.
I'm not sure how there wasn't even a team kill there. They were all blind in front of the B bomb site. Everybody was seeing white. But the failed attempt from Astralis, they will back off. Maybe repositioning for some exit frags here. Gambit have secured Banana. So we'll see what they choose to do with what they have left. Here the Gambit contingency. There are some Kazakh flags here in the audience. There's lots of support for Astralis as well.
So into the next round, and it's going to be Astralis there, still just building up that money situation. They've got, of course, a couple Kevlars and pistols that they saved from that previous round. So a few deagles to maybe make life a bit awkward, and they're actually going to take a time out here to discuss things. And I wonder exactly what's going on in the booth there, James. What do you think they are discussing here? Just getting on the same page, perhaps?
Probably the buy round to come, which is not this. 2.5k per person for this round, so they'll try to coordinate what they have, but ultimately they'll be looking to do damage at 8 to 10, the real damage. Let's see what Gambit's anti-eco is like in this round. I think you have to favour Astralis at this point, moving into their buy with the lead on Inferno.
Yeah, and they'll have, again, like all the money to play with. And speaking of the anti-eco rounds, I think Gambit could very well run exactly the same round we just saw. It's a great round. You don't have to mix it up all the time. I mean, you can have multiple anti-eco rounds, but again, if you go in together with all the nades in the right spots, you can't really argue with the results that can give you time and time again. Gambit, though, will just take it easy for now, making sure that Astralis aren't doing anything funky in this round before executing their game plan here. And it seems as though Gambit have a clear enough picture of what's going on, and they have now started to work on banana control. That we should see Gambit's plans start to come to fruition.
I am throwing a grenade.
Quiet boost, echoes of grenades towards the B-bomb site, but they're spotted. Over a minute on the clock for Gambit to continue their journey. I'm not sure if the bomb was seen, but there is a rotation straight into a grenade. That's awful. Awful, awkward, and painful. And the CTs continue to go towards A, but Glaive will be brought back by Zipex dueling. And now the grenades come in for Gambit. No flashbangs for Astralis. Slowly but surely, carefully, Gambit will move forward in the round, taking the pistols down one by one.
Another very well disciplined round is what you love to see in this game. Again, something that, I mean, you can always tell a team that has great leadership by the notion of just really well disciplined and executed anti-force buys and anti-ecos and so on. Because part of being a great leader is getting everybody into the same understanding of exactly what is good Counter-Strike, how do we effectively play that good Counter-Strike together. If everyone's thinking the same about decision making and of the team, then you can get some really, really well drilled rounds like that. And that's what we just saw from Gambit. And they move 2 rounds away from Astralis now. They're doing a really good job in that sense, but now it's time for Astralis to get the buy-in. Will we see the AWP here? Show me the AWP.
Well, you might have to wait, Dan, because Glaive is not on the server right now. He has disconnected.
Those are restoring some energy there.
Does he realize? Does he even realize? Just waiting for Glaive to get back on, and then we should be good to go. Maybe just a quick tech pause. Map 2 of 3. Train will be the third one, if Astralis take us there. See some discussion. I'm not sure what Glaive's doing. Almost looks like he's holding a Nintendo Switch. This is not the time. I can assume he's been given his phone to re-log into Steam. And there's a Dren, a man who used to play professional Counter-Strike with 100 ping from Kazakhstan and still wreck fools in online matches and leagues. So that's why we've got no bananas in our talent room, Dan. They've taken all the bananas.
Oh my god, they have so many bunches of bananas. We had 3.
Yeah.
And they're really new as well, so not very good, James. They're not ready to be eaten, but we have no choice. All the good ones have been stolen.
They've taken all the bananas.
Well, I suppose they need it more than us. It is interesting too in having these kind of breaks, because it's been quite a slow and deliberate match, I think, from both teams. We're seeing a lot of slow defaults here, where the play is very considered. Everyone's just getting their setups. It's not kind of the chaos that we did see on that map one, and the chaos in which Mo found himself over 30 kills, for example. So it's very interesting to see what Astralis will decide to do with their buy, and I think they're probably going to err on the side of caution and just play pretty slow and passive, and just sort of feel out what Gambit want to do, because it's still very early into the second half. And Astralis need to really identify how Gambit want to invest themselves in the early round scenarios. And that is, I think, more of an approach that you would see out of an Astralis. They're going to just have that very, very solid fundamental game, and they'll sort of adjust, make micro adjustments based on how the opponent is setting things up, instead of just trying to force their will all the time on their opponents.
Glaive is back on the server, and the unpause is here. 15 seconds before things kick off again. The first buy round in the second half here on Inferno. We'll see if Astralis can take this to map number 3, fighting for that championship, fighting to defend their title of reigning champions. Glaive and Zipex over towards the B-bomb side. There'll be 3 in A. Normal situation. Oliver Smoke going for a fast play on his own. No flashbang for him. Just making a hero play, but he won't be the hero today. Pages torn from the comic.
So it slows down a bit now, as well as we see Gambit just holding position, seeing if Astralis is going to go for a move. Astralis actually falling back here. They've got that man advantage. They don't need to keep forward presence on the map. They can just rely on having good defensive setups here. They still have a good level of counter grenades to be thrown with a minute left in the round here. So it's really on Gambit to make this decision. And where do they go? How do they decide to pressure in? And one thing that's really dangerous if they do select A as a finishing destination is this two-man setup we're seeing towards this quad position. It's going to be very, very difficult for Gambit to break that, I would say. And they are taking their sweet time about this at the moment. Haven't really poked middle at all, so Astralis probably feeling that it's going to be a B play. We'll see, they're playing very defensively at the back of the bomb sites. And they are actually running out of grenades at this point. Only 4 remaining, no smokes. And there it is, Doja starts the action off, catches the quad setup, but actually trades 1 for 1. 4 versus 3 now for Astralis to play off of, and 30 seconds for Gambit to get the bomb down.
They're trying, not quite finding Zipex behind the fountain. Zipex ringing the bell. And Mo will get finished off, falling apart bit by bit for Gambit. Zeus on his own versus 2. They're not rotating just yet, but they're not quite needed. Zipex is enough, shutting that round down. At the beginning, I can only assume that Hobbit had a spawn where they thought they would catch the CT still throwing grenades into Banana, but that wasn't the case. That was not the case at all. They took a gamble, didn't pay off, but they're still on the buy. 3 rounds between the two sides. Things still delicate. Both teams are lacking cash after their buys. It's the first win in the second half for Astralis. This is a big round for both teams.
Device looking for a pick here. Oh, the flick comes in, but he's going to miss. It's Mo that bests him. Perhaps we'll start to see more action here from Mo. Now he's got the sniper in his hands. And this is an interesting spot now for Gambit as well. They've got that 5 versus 4, and I'm sure they have a lot of routines and protocols how to play the 5 versus 4 situation on the T side of Inferno. So Adrenaline is going to get the smoke there onto the quad position, which will allow them to more safely take the top mid area and have less places to look. Astralis, they're sort of in this situation where they might be thinking, well, there's 2 decisions really to make. Either taking a risk, try to equalize, or just try to get a good guess and just try to position to the sides that you think is more likely for the T side to arrive on. The Gambit are making it very difficult for Astralis to understand which side that's going to be.
Preemptive grenades from Astralis towards the apartments. Dupree and Banana with the AWP. The flash will force him away, and it might just pull Zipex in his direction as well. He's in CT spawn, looking at the arch position. Tag frag, but no kill there for Dupree, but maybe he needs some help. Adren picked off on the lurk towards the A bomb side, but Dozy is still there. He hears the rotation, but he's not picking off these players. Glaven and Kiabi leaving A, going towards the B bomb site, and Dupree is here in B with AWP. Hobbit taken down. What is the play here from Gambit? Why hasn't Dozy done anything towards B bomb site? He's still there, sorry, towards A, and he's getting sprayed down towards B. I don't understand how this has happened. I don't understand, Dan. The entire time, Dozy was just standing in apartments. The rotation came in, 2 players left A from the pit. They could have been picked off if he made a play, but he was just standing there. The entire time, through the entire fight, he was just standing in apartments.
And you're looking to me for answers, James. I can give you none. I have no idea as well. It's kind of a weird situation. Perhaps a miscommunication. It's hard to say, isn't it? But that's a very key round, because look where it's left Gambit Gaming. They don't really have all that much money. It's only really Hobbit that has much money. Doji obviously saved what he had in the previous round, which is basically everything, because he, as you say, he didn't really make a play. And so they're in a really weird position here now. Do they go for the force buy? Because Hobbit can get a buy. Doji obviously already has a gun. They can get some Tech 9s, and they could do a round like that, and that would be pretty legitimate. But then
I'm so confused.
This has just put them also in such a weird position.
I am so confused. I don't know if we're going to see much of the replay. Still earlier on. And look at Dozy's position. You see Dozy on the radar, only now leaving apartments when all of his team are dead. What is the play there? Because
it's like he's desynchronized.
Maybe they rotate or something. He was just standing in apartments. I'm so confused. That's going to leave Gambit with 2 AKs and 3 Tech 9s. Astralis now 4 rounds away from a 3rd map. Zipex 24-11 at the moment. It's his turn to shine. I thought this would be a difficult map for Mo to be effective on, but Gambit, the rest of his teammates have got a lot to do to pick up the slack, and that last round is not the way to do it.
That's a double AK3 Tech 9s. Handful of grenades. They can definitely make quite the potent push into the A sites with this, and it looks like they're going to opt for that. Will they go through the balcony too? How many will they send? Just Dozier perhaps with that AK. If he can get that position, it's a great vantage point. It's like covering fire, and looks like indeed the split is on. No smoke, I don't think, to nullify these incendiaries from the CTs. That'll make things a little bit harder here for the Gambit side now as they push in. Kirby's still in position. Astralis rotation, full rotation pretty much. The 5th player soon to be on the site before there's even a frag made. This is going to be impossible, surely, for Gambit.
Huge arch, but oh, never mind. All the kills from Astralis in a short few seconds. Everything out the window for Gambit. They're left mostly with 24-50. And now the Danish fans are getting loud.
Gambit simply too slow in that round.
They're going to force it up, Dan. They are going to force it up. And this,
all in.
Talk about less than ideal situation. 1 AK, a bunch of pistols here and there, and a reasonable level of grenades. What can you do with this Gambit? Mostly in the second mid. Kiabi going for some aggression now. This is a very rare play from CTs on you, Inferno, and he might be stuck behind this window, trying to force his way out, but they're waiting for him. Dozy is there to trade.
Yeah, really awesome play from Kirby. Probably will get more and a lot of the time as well. It looks really good there. Couldn't escape. 4 versus 4. Again, a great position for the T side to be in. They've got not the optimal weaponry though, but maybe it is because Hobbit close range attack. No! What on earth was that from Zipex? Really nice entry quick back into the arch position as now he's dominating the top mid. 2 more players to face. He's going to get one. The second one won't fall. It's Dozier who gets the trade, but it's still a very tough situation. At the very least, he's got so much time. He's looking for the flank. Oh, Dozier almost had it, but it's Device picking him up. 14 rounds for Astralis, 2 away from claiming the second map. This game is definitely not done, far from done at this point. Gambit struggling on this second map. They've lost their mojo, it seems, on this T-half, James.
Yeah, their money is a complete disaster. Dozier now, AK, no Kevlar. Another mess of a buy from Gambit. You have to wonder if communication is falling apart on the Gambit team. If the worst happens, they've got one small break to reset, but it's Device who's looking to reset these players. Taking Hobbit down towards Banana. No presence now, but Zeus will head up there on his own. Device is hungry for a second kill. Zeus taking massive gamble and being punished severely. This is a mess from Gambit. Only a Dren left. I think maybe this map is already over.
Very tough spot for Adren, looking to get some damage in. Oh, okay, he's not done just yet. Maybe a couple extra kills before the round is over. Steals away an M4, only 18 points of health, but you got to give this man some respect. He will fall to Device. Great round from Device. Really nice work with that AWP. Pretty much shut down Gambit's plan. And that's 15 for Astralis, 8 for Gambit. They're so far away.
Zeus just going for some solo plays afterwards, and Device is having absolutely none of it. Flames will not deter that man. Great shot from Adren, but really it's just a YouTube highlight at this point. 15-8. Gambit has much more to do if this map is truly not over just yet. Some rifles here and there. Hobbit trying to force the CTs away from Banana. But there's only so much he can do, let's be honest. Adren, how's he made his way into short? This could be a nasty surprise. Perfect flashbangs elsewhere. Adren over 2K, it's not over after all, but is it? The bomb falling into Arch.
Yeah, Trent needs to do more work here. You would think that perhaps he did enough there. 2 great entry frags, but that bomb and D being lost is such a huge issue. Adren starts to work on that engagement there as Zipex protects the bomb. Will he go for the peek here, using the smoke to try to get some additional damage done? But Device comes in from behind, and Adren, his story in this round is over. It's up to Dozier to make the 1v3 a reality. And there is some time for Dozier to work these positions, but ultimately the fact that the bomb is in Arch and that he has to pick it up and that the CTs know exactly where it is does not change. That's a great shot though, a good way to kick things off here. There's still 2 more to go. What is this? Dozier gets 2! There's still 1 more to go though. Zipex protecting the bomb, and Dozier looks to round the corner now. Where is Zipex? Where is Zipex? Dozier asks the question, now he knows. Surely not! Zipex denies him a mere 4 points of health, and what a way to hold your nerve to prevent Gambit from stealing another round. Astralis pick up map 2. We're going to a 3rd map.